Yes, we can't let go of this topic yet. It is a very important and primary topic. We see in this world, I'm hungry, so I start eating, and the hunger diminishes, the appetite diminishes, and the pleasure gradually also diminishes, and then I remain empty in a state of zero. And this is how it is with each and everything. We hear a lot of complaints from one to the other that connection, yearning, the love, they disappear. They disappear. At first, let's say, when a guy and a girl meet, they have some attraction between them, and later on it becomes routine and it goes away. It becomes a habit, which becomes second nature, but it is not the same longing, the same desire, and the same pleasure. It's not the same pleasure with which you can enjoy from one another. And it's the same here with everything, from taking in food and each and every other thing. The habit or the fulfillment truly takes the taste away. The taste disappears, the feeling of connection disappears, there's no need for it anymore. And this is what happens to us in corporeality. And eventually it causes death. The spiritual life is eternal and complete because even before we enter spiritual actions, we learn how to keep them so that they would be eternal and whole, so that our desire will not go away, but rather it will only grow. And so that we understand how important it is, and specifically through the concern for the desire to make it as great as possible and as complex as possible. This is what we have to constantly stand on. And therefore, the advancement in spirituality is according to how much we are able to assemble a more intricate, fine, complex desire, so that it will include within it more and more discernments which the Creator has prepared for us through the shattering of Adam HaRishon. And that way we can hold this desire which we assemble, and that we don't want to lose any part of it. And specifically out of us being concerned for all of the desires, that they would all exist, that they would all sustain each other, so that they would actually grow in the discernments in between them. By this, we reach the true, complete Naran Chai at the end of correction. That is, the entire difference between corporeality and spirituality is that in corporeality, meaning in order to receive, when we perform actions, then the fulfillment quenches the desire, the deficiency. And in spirituality, we learn how through the reception of the pleasure, we only increase the deficiency more and more. Therefore, one who is greater than his friend, his inclination is greater. This here in spirituality already takes on a new form, a new importance, a new degree. And we begin to look at the deficiency as the most important thing. And not that the fulfillment is the most important, but rather the lack. Because by increasing the lack, by arranging it correctly, establishing it correctly, on that depends also the fulfillment. Therefore, it's not necessarily that I will receive and receive and receive fulfillment. into the deficiency, but rather I enjoy the deficiency itself as it grows and it remains, and I have a longing for it, and I go forward and increase it more and more. This is why the work is different. I'm not concerned about fulfilling the deficiency, because the fulfillment exists infinitely in the upper light that fills up the whole of reality. I'm concerned only with the lack, that each time I will have a correct deficiency and that it would be as great as possible and keep growing. Therefore, the prayers, the requests, the gratitudes to the Creator, whatever we can aim to Him and raise to Him, that is what is important for us. And by that, we measure our state, our fulfillment, that indeed I enjoy the efficiency that I have. And we also from our corporeal world remember that we were young and we would get all excited from love to someone. So we enjoy having this love, this inclination, this lack. And it's not that, it's not a fulfillment. The fulfillment, it comes and goes, and afterwards an empty place remains, but rather specifically the longing can fill the kli, and that is what we remember later. If we see all of the compositions that we have in painting and music and everything in literature, it all speaks about the lack, about the yearning, about the prayer, really, in short. And this is why we have to pay attention that even though we together are still in a state where maybe we're longing for fulfillments, however, the true fulfillment comes out of us being drawn to the one that we love. And specifically this attraction, this inclination, that I'm longing for it, this is actually the true fulfillment. And it's written in many places, we will find them. Where does he write that to begin with, they were thinking that later on they see that specifically,
כן, באגרות, אני אמצא את זה תכף.
yes, in the letters, I'll find it. That's it. So we're not done yet with the matter of the prayer and raising man, and that everything is obtained only through the force of the prayer, that we have to establish correctly our attitude to the fulfillment, what kind of fulfillment it is, so that this fulfillment won't quench the deficiency, otherwise we would remain empty. But rather, specifically the fulfillment that comes, it lives in the deficiency and it only amplifies it more and more. And this is a sign that we are in spirituality. That is, only through bestowal from me outwardly, with that inclination, do I not quench the fulfillment, but rather I build yet more place to increase it, to amplify it. There are many things in that. We will learn them. Gradually, we will establish our correct lack, and then according to that, we will discover how the Creator had prepared for us those vessels in order to reach the spiritual fulfillment. Spirituality does not go away, it is eternal. Therefore, we need to prepare a desire that will also be eternal. In order to receive the eternal fulfillment, you must have an eternal deficiency. And an eternal deficiency means that it always remains and it only grows in longing for the fulfillment. And the fulfillment also cannot be egoistic because it would immediately quench the deficiency, the desire. Rather, it has to be according to the deficiency, so that the fulfillment and deficiency will go hand in hand and even increase and amplify each other. Therefore, spirituality is eternal. And it's not like in this world that all of those things, they quench each other off and they disappear, they end. The deficiency is quenched by the fulfillment, and then this disappears and that disappears, and nothing remains. Out of the fulfillment or the deficiency, nothing remains. So we will learn how can we reach the eternal deficiency and eternal fulfillment and eternal life.